All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there just like you and just like me. Um, Another artist has to cancel shows due to illness. All right, before I get to illness, David Knopfler and his album Crow Gifts. Holy crap, Batman. If you haven't heard David Knopfler over the years, you really owe it to yourself to catch up on some of his stuff. This is his latest offering, and sounding great, playing great, great songs, unheralded, um, not really noticed by the music community. I never see anything about, hey, David Knopfler released a new album. He is the brother of Mark Knopfler, in case you were wondering. So, Crow Gifts, check it out. I think you'll dig it. So Neil Young, add him to the list of people canceling shows. I'm sure there'll be a medical alert or health alert in the news media soon about what the illnesses are. Uh, if not, we all can assume what it is because they just use the term illness. So Neil Young cancels Crazy Horse tour, citing band illness. All right. So it's not just one person in the band. By the way, I'm sure everybody in this band has been to CVS multiple times, right? I mean, Neil Young, of course. By the way, Neil Young's music is apparently back on Spotify after he didn't like what Joe Rogan said about this stuff. At one point, he removed his music from Spotify, but it's back on there now because he'd like to make a little bit of money. I know these guys don't make a lot of money from Spotify, but they do make some money. So the tour is called the Love Earth Tour. On Wednesday, the 78-year-old musician announced on his website that the tour has been a great experience filled with great audiences and music, but some of the group members have fallen ill. He said that a couple of us got sick after performing at the Pine Knob Music Theater in Clarkston, Michigan. My guess is that they didn't sanitize the Pine Knob Music Theater. If they had just wiped it down with sanitary wipes, you know, those annoying alcohol wipes that people were handing out in droves a few years ago, because they kill germs, right? They kill germs and they help your immune system not perform anymore, because then you're not going to have any germs in your midst. And thus, when you encounter one, you're probably going to get sick, just like these guys did while performing at the Pine Knob Music Theater. Okay, so again, it says due to illness. And then his group has postponed shows in Texas also due to illness. When a couple of us got sick after the Pine Knob, we had to stop. We are still not fully recovered. I thought if you did do the super safe and effective thing, that was the last holdout benefit. They say that your symptoms would be very mild and that you would recover quickly and that there'd be no further issues because you did this, right? Maybe these guys aren't up to date. Heavens. I mean, that's just incomprehensible that they're not up to date. And I don't know. They're not saying anything. And of course, I'm being very sarcastic here if you didn't pick that up already. So sadly, our great tour will have a big unplanned break. And that's the latest update from Neil Young. The performer noted that the band will try to play some of the dates we miss at times when we're ready to rock again. So when they're ready to rock again, they may come back and make up some of these dates. We know many of you made travel plans, and we apologize for the inconvenience. Thanks for your understanding and patience. He says here, health is number one. Good to know that health is number one. We want to stay and do more shows and more albums for you. I don't know if he means record more albums for you or maybe play more albums in their entirety. thinking that might be what he's talking about. With love and thanks to all of you from Crazy Horse. That's Neil, Micah, Ralph, and Billy. All right. Micah, by the way, that's Micah Nelson. That's one of Willie Nelson's 8 children. He's along for the ride. By the way, Neil Young has stated that he really respects Willie Nelson because he'll only perform in outdoor venues now. Because, in outdoor venues, you're not going to encounter any germs or floating particles or anything. And so, thus, even though these guys are super duper protected, right? And they've been following the guidelines closely. But being outdoors, I guess, will lower your risk because of all of that sunshine, even though I still see people wearing face garb here and there, and they're either in their car or they're walking around outside. Not as much as I used to see it, thank God, but people are taking precautions. The best way to stop this is to train your immune system to not fight back against any of this, to protect yourself so much that, as George Carlin famously said, your immune system doesn't get any practice. And so he said, your immune system needs practice, right? But today, we're just doing things a little bit differently. We're doing things, so we're just going to do the hermetically sealed thing. This way people don't get hurt, right? And then your God-given system doesn't have a chance to work. And so when it encounters one of these floating particles, it freaks out, right? And then you're not touring anymore. So we wish Neil and his band, Micah Nelson, who I'm not sure if he's any good like his dad, but I'm assuming, he's Willie Nelson's kid, so he must be pretty good. He's out there with Neil Young, too. We wish them all a speedy recovery, right? And maybe a little bit of enlightenment and a little bit of humility somewhere, and maybe a little more of a description of what this illness is. Just an illness. Anything can be an illness. I ate some food. Now I'm not feeling so good. It's an illness. Far different from, people just randomly getting sick for no apparent reason, except, again, they didn't wipe down the Pine Knob Theater appropriately. Before I go, here are some Crow Gifts. Crow Gifts from David Knopfler. Interesting title for his album, but from start to finish, this is some pretty interesting music. If you like every type of Americana with some interesting songwriting throughout and some great storytelling, David Knopfler. Pretty good playing, too, on it as well. And so another reason you should check out David Knopfler. My name is Dave, too. God bless everyone. CBS, don't think that's working out so well anymore. I think we need another solution to this problem. Either that or God already gave you everything you need, and maybe we should go back to that idea. But it doesn't appear we're going to get there. Please support this channel if you can. The algorithm doesn't like videos like this one, that's for sure. And the Supreme Court yesterday ruled that it's okay for the algorithm to do what it does. So that's fantastic news for me. Hope you're doing all right, and stay away again from those drugstores, whatever they are. I don't know. They tend to be more like convenience stores than drugstores these days, but I would probably avoid those if you can, and I will talk to you soon.